this isn't the Minions movie. This isn't the Avengers or any sort of happy-go-lucky film. So I do thank you all for braving the elements and coming out to this screening. Now, there were a few things that I wanted to say. First off, you probably noticed in the lobby we had a little more commotion than we usually do. And that's because tonight's screening was graciously sponsored by 3 different organizations that I want to take this time to thank. All right, so I want to thank the, first and foremost, I'd like to thank the Wishing Well Sanctuary. For those of you who don't know what they are, they're a farm sanctuary based out in Brantford, Ontario. And what they do is they take in animals from all walks of life and give them a new lease on life and allow them to grow into full, beautiful, sentient beings that they're not really allowed to grow into in their typical factory farm setting. So for that, I'm very grateful for what they do, and if you are an animal lover, I would definitely recommend heading out to the Wishing Well Sanctuary and supporting them. We'd also like to thank the Toronto Vegetarian Association, and I actually have to say that it's really kind of thanks to you guys that my wife and I moved to Toronto, because we're originally from Montreal, and for those of you who've ever been to Montreal, you know Montreal.
That's where I came from.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Well, Montreal, I mean, it's getting a lot better from a vegan standpoint, but it's really all about steak and smoked meat. Whereas when my wife and I first moved to Toronto, we saw actually one of your pamphlets in Pulp Kitchen out on Queen Street. And we were like, my God, Toronto has a vegetarian association. So that was one of the main reasons why we actually moved out there. So thank you guys for all the great stuff that you do.
Thank you.
And then last but not least, I don't believe anyone is actually, I don't believe anyone from that organization is actually here tonight. They couldn't make it because of the Toronto Veggie Food Fest, or the Vegan Food Fest rather. But we want to thank Yam Chops. Now, for those of you who don't know what Yam Chops is, they are a vegetarian butcher. Now, I know that might sound like a bit of an oxymoron, and especially when you go down in person, they're actually located next to a meat butcher, which makes for a very surreal sight, to say the least. But they basically prepare vegan versions of different meat and dairy products. And when you go down there, I mean, I defy you to taste their shawarma, their souvlaki, their versions of classic meat dishes. I defy you to taste those and tell me if you can tell the difference. It's a wonderful place. And for those of you who bought tickets to tonight's show, you should have, sorry about that, you guys should have basically gotten those $5 gift card coupons that basically give you discounts the next time you go to Yam Chops. Now, I just wanted to say a couple things. Now, first and foremost, we made a big statement of letting people know about this online. For those of you who don't follow us on Facebook or Twitter or go to our website on a regular basis, it's only fair to give you guys a warning that this is an extremely graphic film. Now, my job here, but by the way, I don't even know if I introduced myself. My name is Matthew Salibaw. I am one of the managers here as well as one of the... And I'm also one of the film programmers here. I do a lot of the alternative programming, like our Carlton Midnight Society stuff, the Cool Kids at the Carlton, pretty much any offbeat film that's shown here, you can probably attribute that to me. But for this film, so when I come out, I usually do my song and dance and wave my arms, get everyone really pumped and excited. That doesn't really feel appropriate in this case, but one of the things I always do, and maybe that I'm sometimes guilty of, is a little bit of hyperbole. I talk about how this film is scary as hell, or how this film comes from outer space, and it's here for you guys to perceive with all full of your senses. But for Earthlings, this isn't hyperbole. When I say this movie is scary as hell, it is scary as hell. This is all real. There are no special effects. It's very appropriate, actually, on the IMDb. It's not just listed as a documentary, but it also is listed as a horror film. So while we at the Carlton are not typically in the habit of encouraging people to ask for refunds, I do want to let everyone know that we do have a half-an-hour policy where after the trailers, although in this case there are no trailers, we are just going to go right to the film. You do have half an hour to decide if this film is for you. And believe me, within the first 5 minutes, you'll know if this film is for you. Actually, coincidentally, how many people here have never seen the film?
Wow.
Oh,
really?
wow, okay. Great.
Holy
All right.
cow.
We'll hold your hand through it.
Can you do that again? How many haven't seen it?
I need less. We love you.
Kudos, seriously.
Now, let me ask you this now. For those of you who haven't seen the film, how many of you came to see Unity a month ago? Okay, perfect. Okay, great. Now, do you remember that opening scene with the cow waiting to be slaughtered?
How can we
Okay.
forget?
It's only fair to let you know that that is a Disney movie compared to what you're going to see in Earthlings. So again, I really just want to stress that I don't want people coming after the film's over and acting all up saying like why did you do this or why are you showing this? So I just want to let everybody know. Now. There was something else I wanted to say, and I'm somewhat hesitant to say this because I'm standing here today as an employee of Rainbow Cinemas. And as you can probably imagine, when you are representing a company, whenever it comes to political or social issues, you do have to remain somewhat neutral. So I'm going to try and say this in a way that won't come up as preachy or anything, but I do feel this is something that needs to be said. I think it's safe to say that not everyone in here is a vegan or perhaps even a vegetarian, and that's okay, well, I mean, it's not okay, but I mean, it's but no, it's okay, everyone kind of comes to, no, but you know what I'm saying, like,
we're all meat eaters once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly, there you go. So the very fact that some of you are actually out here to see this film, you guys should be commended for that. So I do
Yes.
thank you. At the very least, for having open minds. We've all kind of gone on this route in many different ways. For me, at least for my wife and I, the way we became vegan was we have 3 cats at home: Munchkin, Quagmire, and Peaches. And this was when we first had our first cat, Munchkin. Now we were young and somewhat naive. And at some point, Munchkin got into one of our linen closets, and she swallowed 2 feet of string and got that all tangled in her intestines. And she vomited at least 10 or 11 times a day, and we had to rush her to the animal hospital. This was back in Montreal. And because we were $10 short for the consultation fee, they simply said, good luck. They wouldn't see Munchkin.
Oh my god.
And that was a very eye-opening thing, because even in the United States, where the medicinal industry is in the business of making sure you stay sick as opposed to actually helping you, they would still see people. They would still treat you, and at the very least, they would bill you later. But because this is a cat, and because it's a toy or an object, the feeling is that, well, you just get another cat. Who cares? Now, fortunately, there's a happy ending to that story. Friends came through, they paid for everything, and she's very happy and lively today. But that really just opened our eyes that, animals are seen as objects, and they're not seen as the sentient beings they are. It can be very, very frustrating sometimes talking to people who don't see eye to eye on this issue. The way I sort of see it, the very issue that this is even considered to be a debate is somewhat laughable to me, because to me, a debate implies that there are 2 sides to an issue that, when properly argued with logic, can both be seen as right. Like we've all been in a debate with someone where we don't necessarily agree with what that person's saying, but I can sort of see where you're coming from, and we'll agree to disagree. This is my argument. This is the argument the film tries to make, and I anticipate this is the argument that a lot of people in this audience have, and that is, who are we to decide which creatures live and die? Who are we to decide that? Furthermore, the very notion that you can humanely kill an animal is laughable, because with the exception of euthanasia, you cannot humanely kill a sentient being that doesn't want to die. That's my argument. So that's my argument. I have trouble seeing what the other side is. You don't care. That's what it comes off as. So anyway, enough preaching. I just thought I'd get this out there because
Preach on, honey.
Preach on.
Amen. Hallelujah.
No, but it's just important. I didn't get to where I am in life by not speaking my mind, so I'll just have to handle the consequences of speaking my mind, I guess. Anyway, so on a final note, I do just want to say that normally in these introductions, this is the part where I tell people I hope you enjoy the film. But again, that feels very inappropriate in this case, because if you do enjoy this movie, well, I'm not quite sure what kind of person you are, quite frankly. So what I would suggest is this, and some people brought this up on our Facebook page. Some people were saying, well, why should I come to the film? It feels like this film would just sort of preach to the converted, right? Or preaching to the choir, rather. I hope this film either affirms or reaffirms your beliefs. For those of you who maybe brought a friend to try and open their mind and heart, I hope that friend's mind and heart is open, and perhaps they try to do something a little different. And if the film does nothing for you at all, well, there's something I'd like to say, but I'd probably get fired if I said it now. So we'll just sort of leave it at this. No, but in all fairness, I hope you get something out of this film, and I thank you all for supporting it. And again, if you guys keep supporting what we do here, perhaps this will be the start of a whole brand new series of films that we can help promote. So thank you all for coming, and
Thank you.
enjoy it. Thank you guys.